Yo, 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 what's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the They Call Me Daddy Parents Podcast. Let me introduce my co-host. We got Mack and we got Mondo. Welcome back, Mondo. My name is Torrean, aka Daddy. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Man, missing a week away from you calling yourself daddy, bro. I think I might have needed that, a little break of this dude calling himself daddy the whole podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I thought you were saying you needed daddy in your life. You know what I'm saying?
That
Like,
is
you
not
all right,
what
bro?
I was saying.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Hence why, we need some clarity on this podcast,
No,
just making sure,
Nah, wouldn't that feel kind of odd though for somebody to be like, hey, bro, I need you in my life, fam. Like, come here, daddy.
I mean, yeah, it would be weird if they said it like that. If they said it like that, that shit would most
Tori would
definitely be weird.
appreciate that shit. He'd be like,
But yeah.
I know he'd be like, you want these socks?
But nah, like, yeah, shit would be kind of weird. But at the same time, like, if you need me, what's up? Like, what's up?
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. I'm good. I'll call you Torrean if I need you.
For sure. How you feeling, Mondo? What's going on with you?
Oh man, life just be lifing. It's got different background, different vibe, different place, different environment. It just feels like a whole life reset. Actually, one thing I was sharing with somebody the other day, because I'm back at my pop's house, right? Like just in a similar environment with like my computer and stuff set up. And so I tell the people the story way back January 7th, 2010 was like the moment I actually got into tech. Because I watched this special on CNBC called Planet of the Apps. And it was like, oh, like this iPhone is a big deal and apps is going to be a big deal. If you want to be an app developer, like you should go in this direction. And literally that day I was like, I'm doing that. And so this was in 2010. And I literally came upstairs into my dad's room because it was where the computer was at, only computer in the house. And I was like, I guess it's for me to get started. And I just started like, how do you start a business? How you write a business plan? And I just researched and I spent months just up in my pop's room, like starting literally a new journey in my life that was post basketball, right? It was like leaving an athlete behind, stepping into tech, and then for now to come full circle and be like, all right, it's like another act in life, right? Like here's another reset. Feels familiar. It feels like a good reset, and it's also like I sure am curious what's next, what's around the corner. So that's where I'm at, bro. Being extremely optimistic. I am Mr. Optimism. But sometimes it'd be like, man, can this car drive a tad bit faster? You feel me? So
yeah, no, that's dope, man. That's dope. One thing I had said to you, man, there's so many great memories at Uncle Ed's house, so many great moments that we share together. That's the house you grew up in, but also the environment there. It's like, man, you got hella love, all the family that lives there still, and you go to Uncle Ed's house, nobody wants to leave because it's just that dope. So like, I think it's the perfect place for you to have that reset, but also to like, it's going to springboard you to that next level, because you're back in the familiar area, right? Like it's just so.
Yeah, I'm sure I feel similar to how Mack feels, right? Just a house full of family, right? Boys yelling, cracking, fun, laughing, clowning, video games, talking stuff. And so, it'd be 3:00 in the morning. You'd be like, man, y'all still up, fam? But yeah, it's that energy, man. It brings you back to be like, oh yeah, like this is that environment, that love environment that we come from, and it's why we are able to show up in the world the way that we do, because it's just nothing but love in the environment in which we were raised. So it feels good.
So one question I got real quick, right? We're talking about, going back to familiar places. Something I was thinking about earlier is, could y'all go back to taking baths at grandma's? So like for our listeners, like our grandma does not have a shower, so we all grew up taking baths at grandma's house, but her tub ain't that big, and so like she's got 5 boys too, and they are all tall, for the most part. So it's just like, and then she's got all the grandkids, we're all pretty tall in height as well. So like, could y'all go back to that?
I mean, if I needed to, I think the hardest part was after you took a bath and you had to clean that motherfucking tub out, bro. That's the worst part. You know, you take a shower, you in and out that joint, but you know, grandma, you gotta put out that Lysol and wipe the tub afterwards. So
Yeah, she got that super old school, perfectly curvature tub though. Like if I can go shower at a different crib and then come over there and do a spa in grandma's bathtub, I can do
straight up,
that. You know what I'm saying? It's
straight up,
comfy.
Epsom salt and all that, ready to
For
go.
sure. You know, Epsom salt stay in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
Man, hey, them Epsom salt baths, that hits on a different level for sure. Like, yeah. What's good with you, Mac? Though, man, how you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. I was listening to Mondo. Like the word that stuck out to me was reset. And I was trying to figure out, like, damn, how am I feeling? You know, because you know I only get asked that on the podcast, really. But I feel like I'm in a resetting stage as well. You know, I'm feeling good, but also like I've been just intaking a lot of knowledge lately. Like been in like, you know, doing that shit intentionally, just trying to better myself still. You know what I mean? And not get distracted by the holidays and all the stress that comes with that shit. Is just continuing to be a better person and be a better dad, a better companion. You know, just trying to better myself right now in this season. So that's where I'm at. But with you though, T?
Man, so you guys said reset, and I'm gonna say present. Like, this year, man, was a hell of a year. We kind of alluded to just from a family aspect of things, and it's just dope to be back present. I feel like I'm, back to being me now, right? And it's so, it's not quite. I didn't quite need the whole reset, but I did need to make sure I'm showing up, and I feel back to just being that, like being me, being Torrean, and I love it. So
That's why I call you Torrean. You know.
Yeah, you Torrean.
I feel you, man.
Yeah,
I feel
okay.
you.
Yeah.
I feel you. You know what it is, though. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is.
Look, we ain't even gonna go there. You are a father, and your daughter's birthday is coming up. How do you feel about that? You know, boss lady, what's she getting? What she want? Where y'all traveling to? What is it?
Man, yeah, happy birthday, Rainy. From your dad. So let me tell you this. Every time Rainy sees our podcast, like I can't let her listen to it, because as I was reminded I got in a little trouble this weekend. I wouldn't call it trouble, but from my aunt, and then also from one of my uncles was like, man, y'all sure do cuss a lot, right? And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna try to go through this whole podcast without cussing. So we're gonna see how long that.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, we're gonna see how long we last with that. But every time Rainy sees our podcast, man, her eyes and ears just blow up. Like she gets the biggest smile on her face. She's just so excited. And so like she doesn't quite understand what podcast is, but every time she hears even the word podcast, she's like, Daddy, they're talking about you guys. Right. And I'm like, oh, that is dope. So it just shows like, the fact that we are here having this, doing our podcast on a week to week basis, like it's affecting her life. Right. And like, it's something like as she turns from 6 to 7, she's obviously figuring out who she is as a person, everything else. But it's just dope to have that motivation to say like, yo, my dad has a podcast. So shout out to y'all too for that. In terms of what she wants fucking, oh man, I cussed already. Damn it. Man, I didn't last not even a minute, but we're gonna reset.
I know I'm gonna slip up, so it's all good.
Yeah, we gonna reset and we're gonna get back there. But she wants everything, she wants everything, every toy. She loves Monster High, so she wants all the coftins, as she calls it, not coffin, but coftins. So she wants that. But our whole thing with her birthday is close to Christmas. We want her to have memories and experiences, and family events is so important to me. And so we try to take her on a trip every year for her birthday. So, we've gone to Florida the last couple of years. And we even went to Puerto Rico for like her 3rd birthday. So this year we're doing a Disney cruise. We're taking her on a Disney cruise. We'll be on the cruise ship on her birthday. And she's pretty excited about it, pretty excited about it. Hopefully she'll get to use her Spanish a little bit. We are going to the Bahamas, so I think obviously English, but I think they speak a little bit of Spanish there. So hopefully she'll be able to utilize some Spanish there, and just try to show her the best birthday she possibly can have. as she turned 7, and it's killing her dad right now. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm a pretty emotional dude. Like, I'm very sentimental. I've been looking at all the old videos, even though I lost a lot of my videos from when she was first born to about 3 years old, and it saddens me pretty much every day. So, but at the same time, I'm blessed because there are a lot of parents out there that, um, you know, unfortunately, their kid, they don't get to see their kid to turn 7, right? So I'm blessed at the same time. But yeah, she's pretty excited. So,
And her birthday is what day again?
December 10th.
The 10th. Okay. Well, while we're in that range, let's shout out Vaughn. You know what I'm saying? Happy birthday, Vaughn, because he's in that same. That man, and
Number
just
11.
yeah, all the love in that space, right? Like, so shout out to Vaughn. Happy birthday. Love you, bro.
So yeah, shout out Vaughn. Happy birthday. Love you. Yeah, man, love you. With that being said, though, Rainy is definitely gonna want y'all two to say happy birthday on the podcast tour. So, if you guys can sing on the count of 3, that'd be good. 1, 2,
Hey, bro. Hey,
3.
happy birthday, Rainy. I love you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Rainy.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, straight up though. But yeah, Mondo, and then we have another special birthday too, man. So Rainy, Vaughn, and Kadence. Cadence's birthday's coming up.
Big dog Kadence. Big OG Kadence. She's on Friday. It has been such an interesting journey to this birthday, man. I have some peace in it right now, but it took a while to get this piece. To offer some context to listeners. So last year, man, just a wild year of, like, when I talk about reset, like full reset, man, it was reset after reset after reset. So I just got a text that on this day a year ago, I went to the hospital, right? My mind was blown up. I say God was like, oh, let me blow up your mind real quick. And so went to the hospital. They're like, yo, you need to stay in here. We're going to put you in a psych ward for a few days. And it was just like, I was like, I feel like I'm good, but y'all don't feel like I'm good. Cool. And it was one of those, I guess, family moments where they're like, people were worried, right? Like, man, what's up with Mondo? Mondo's always good. Like, what's happening? Let's rally around. Let's support him. And so, one, shout out to the family for that, because I don't feel like there was a lot of judgment, right? Like, it's just like, yo, this is Mondo, as if it was anybody else, and we just gonna shower Mondo with love. So thank you for that. But the one thing that I was made aware of last year was I was actually in the hospital on Cadence's birthday. And so I was like, dang, I didn't even remember that, right? I'm just in there. And I'm reflecting now of her coming into the hospital and me saying happy birthday and all that stuff. But fast forward, right? We're a whole nother year. But this year has been, well, I'm going to be still, right? And I'm not going to do anything. Cool. If God set me down and told me to be still and chill, well, I'm going to be still all the way till God tells me to get back up. And so I haven't worked. I just been disciplined, spiritual journey, mental journey, all this stuff. Well, a year later, it's just like, what's her birthday? I don't have the tools, the resources to provide the things that Kadence is used to. Like, you do traveling, T, man. Like, I grew up with my pops was an amazing gift giver. And so, like, presents under the tree or birthday, like, it was always like, man, we can't wait to see what pops got us. And so for Kadence, yo, from the beginning, I think she was 3, it was iPads and 800 gifts under the tree and all the stuff. And so it just kept growing from there. Well, this year, right, Kadence has been super patient and loving and kind, and just like, man, I know things are challenging, Dad, and I know you're going through your stuff, whatever, and I'm gonna support you. But her birthday, yo, she's been coming for me a little bit, which I'm like, I always say, like, thank you for saying that, right? If you can say that to me, that means that you have the confidence to open your mouth and say anything to somebody else that you may feel like isn't in line with what you believe. Not that what you believe is always right, but the confidence to say things out loud, right, and not hold it in. Like, I'm proud of that woman. And so she's been challenging me the past couple weeks, like on some like, yo, you've been knowing this day has been coming. Like, why haven't you taken care of business type stuff? And for me, I just had to stand in my faith. Like, yo, okay, you about to turn 17. You want stuff. And any other year, if I have it, I'll get you stuff. But for some reason this year, I'm not supposed to be the one to get you stuff. Trying to explain that to a 17-year-old, like, it ain't it. Like, got to approach that a different way. However, it was heavy on my heart for a while, right? Because I always was able to give the stuff. But I'll share one last story about this before I let y'all hop in. Yeah, 2 days ago, I watched the documentary of Tyler Perry on Amazon Prime. Fam, you seen it, Mack?
Bro, that shit is fire, bro. When I talk about getting soft, bro, I'm sitting there like, fuck, tear coming down and shit. I'm like,
what? A whole
what the
tear,
fuck
bro?
going on? Yeah, bro. Hey, that shit hit home.
Oh,
Very,
man.
very dope documentary.
So watch the Tyler Perry documentary on Amazon Prime, because if it got Mack to shed a tear, I ain't never seen that in life. You know what I'm saying? But I was watching it, and the trauma in his life was OC. But I'm watching it, and I'm just like, I know at the end, the story will be as dope, if not doper. Right? Whatever it is, it's just like, yo, you have to put in this work right now that nobody else sees, that nobody else believes, that nobody else understands, but there's just something in your heart or something that God already put on you. Like, just do this. Sacrifice all this extra stuff right now and just follow this guidance. And so after watching that documentary, I was just like, all right, God, I got you. I'm just going to keep walking. And I know that eventually it's all going to work out exactly how it should. And it offered me some peace of mind, man, because for so long, right? Like, didn't nobody know who that dude was? Like, he ain't nobody. And then even when they gave him something, they're like, oh, man, this film just going to come out. It ain't going to be nothing. And then he just killed it and kept killing it. And for me, I look at it like, yo, he was just a vessel, right? Right. He was just a person that just kept going, that believed in the thing that nobody else believed in. And if you want to be that person, and you continue to be that person, eventually God's going to work through you and deliver all the things that, you couldn't even have asked for. So here I am, man. I'm going to step into Friday. I'm trying to think of something sentimental to give Kadence, to just say, like, I can't give you the big thing. Here's the little thing. But like that rock that Torrean got, right? Sometimes that little thing is the thing. And so I'm going to spend some time trying to find that little thing. And hopefully a year from now or 10 years from now, she's like, man, this little thing on that birthday, like, it's actually the thing that actually mattered. So my bad, man. I took up a lot of space with that story, but man, that's what's going on with Mondo in the birthday season. Not to mention Christmas around the corner, so we ain't even gonna go there. But it's all good.
No, that's big, man. It's big of you to talk about that shit too, man. Because us as men, that's some stuff we try to hide, man, and that's big of you, dog. So respect to you, Mondo.
Yeah, and I want to say, man, like, man, the three of us was there when Kadence was born, right? Like, Kadence came back to the house. I mean, and Mack was giving lessons on how to change diapers. You know what I'm saying? Like, to Mondo, and it was like, yo, she was just kicking it in the party house, right? And at the time, like, and then Mack has kids, and I have friends that have kids, and cousins, and people have kids, and man, like, when I had we had Rainy, I'm like, man, like, I get complimented all the time, like, man, you are just a great dad. And I had great examples, from, like, the older generation, but then from both of y'all, and Mondo, you were one of the first in our family that, or my peers, to have a kid, right? And it's like, man, you've been such a great dad for the entire Kadence's entire life, from day one, right? From being 21 years old to just now. And so, like, you laid the foundation. So, like, I know like right now it's heavy on her, you know, because she's turning 17, right? And it's like, but man, for 17 years, man, you laid the foundation for all of us, you know, for all of us from a peer standpoint and things. And so like, man, don't let that get lost, bro, because like you said,
Facts.
you've always been able to deliver. And so what's 1 year? Like, you know, I know her 18th is going to be better. Her 19th is going to be better. Her 20th and so on and so for the rest of her dang on life, right? Like, I'm confident in that. But last year, right? Last year was a scary moment, you know. I talk to Mondo every day, and you know, Mondo, as he alluded, he went to the hospital, right? And so for you not to miss Cadence's birthday, I'm sure that was sad on a whole nother level, right? And so just the fact that, man, you're gonna give her a big ass hug, and yeah, she might be disappointed from a material aspect of things, like it's normal at 17, but in the grand scheme of things, bro, like I love you and thank you for laying that foundation down for us, bro.
Facts. And I know it's weighing on you that, you know, you thinking about the material shit and all that. But I think last year, bro, you probably gave her the best gift she'll ever have, niggas. And knowing like, damn, my dad's okay. My dad's straight. Bro, you ain't gonna give her no gift better than that, bro. You are the gift, bro. Don't forget that shit, man. I think, you know, just us in this world, bro, we gotta quit getting caught up in all this material shit, bro. Kids don't care about that, bro. What they care about is, hey, if I call my dad, he gonna answer. You know what I'm saying? If I need a laugh, I'm gonna call my dad. Like, you know, it ain't about the material shit, bro. We gotta quit putting all that weight on ourselves, bro. That shit's not real. Yeah, we could, you know, go crazy, put all that shit under the tree, but at the end of the day, bro, they forget about shit they get this year, a week from now. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, no
hey,
doubt.
my dad is good. My dad loves me. My dad is here. So, man, shout out to y'all, man.
Nah, and last thing I want to say, one more thing before you chime in, Mondo. You know, I know I can irk Mondo. I can get under Mondo's skin. I can clown Mondo like no other. But man, the only other person that can really match me in that is Cadence. Like that's how dope their relationship is. And like,
yeah.
so like one other thing Mondo kind of taught me was like, you know, when him and Cadence is in the car, he doesn't take, you know, calls or like anything like that's just their time. And so like when I pick Rainy up from school now, I'm like, yo, I gotta get off the phone because I made that promise and commitment to her. And so like that's just another example, man, of like just the dope things that you laid out there. And it's like, you know, a nugget that I'm able to use and apply to my daughter, and so that can be just our time. And so like now it should be clowning me just like Cadence be clowning you, you know. So yeah.
Nah, I appreciate that. And man, I said like the little thing that it might be, man, it might be these first 25 minutes of this podcast. You know,
Facts.
like I really appreciate y'all saying that. It means a lot. It has been hard. I even know like it's probably been hard for Cadence, right? To just shoulder all that for so long. And I just want to make sure that there comes a time to where she can finally just release all that. Like and just know like, all right, we're past that season. And so yeah, man. Thank you. I love y'all. Appreciate it. Cadence, I love you. Happy birthday. And I'm doing my best.
Doing a
For
damn
sure,
good
man.
job too, bro.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, bro. And happy birthday, Cadence. You know,
Happy birthday,
happy
Cadence.
17th. You and Vaughn, 17 years old, man. Feels like yesterday y'all was crawling around and you know, causing havoc. So crazy.
Yeah.
Dope.
Come on, man. Shift this gear, bro.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Torrean, where the joke at?
that nigga
was getting sensitive over there too.
Yeah, you know, like I said, man, no, because y'all are close to my heart, man, and it's important to say that, man. You know, like it is, man. Like, you know, this right now is a time of seasonal depression, and you know, especially in Minnesota, it's cloudy now. Outside, it snowed overnight. Like, you know, people be locked into their feelings, man. It is, you know, so it's great to reassure people like you're on the right journey. You're doing the right thing, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, Mondo, you kind of said you got some inspiration from that, or just thought the Busta Rhymes interview that he just recently did podcast. I'm not sure who it was with, but like you were like, yo, I was able to pull something from that because he just laid it all out there. And that's the thing with the truth, right? Like if you tell the truth, it'll set you free. There's nothing else can hold you back because you told your truth. And so, Mondo, you want to kind of tell us a little bit about the interview and kind of like what you thought was dope about it?
Yo, so one, it is Diary of an Entrepreneur. I don't even know the host name. It was the first podcast of his I had watched. But man, this dude Busta, and I'm not even a huge Busta fan, right? Like, you know, he got some hit boys, right, from back in the day, but I don't follow him like that. But this interview was so fire. But he asked what is the one thing that he wanted to leave for his kids mindset wise. And Busta just kind of leaned in like you have to find the thing that you are willing to be unwavering in your faith. Like the word that he used specifically was delusional, right? He's just like, yo, you have to see something that to everybody else, they're like, what are you looking at, bruh? I cannot see this thing that you see. You're delusional. You're crazy. Like, what? Like, go ask your dad, go ask your brother, go ask your cousin, go ask. Nobody else sees this, man. Like, you need some help. But then when you keep going, right? Like, if you believe in manifestation, right? Like, whatever word it is, faith, whatever, like, forcing things into existence, like, it's there. It is already there. And so can you turn that delusion, right? Can you stick with that delusion, that dream so long that eventually it just materializes? And so he just said it in a way where it hit home, right? Thinking about a year ago, going to the hospital and everybody looking at me like, man, is this dude gonna be all right? And I'm looking at everybody else like, fam, I'm good. How can y'all not see that I'm good? However, I now see things differently somehow, some way. And still to this day, right? I can't explain it, but it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like cats. It's like, oh yeah, like when I can taste music, right? Or like when I hear music, I see colors, right? It's my version of that. Like I'm just able to look at the world a certain kind of way. And so the delusion always makes sense until it's not delusional, until it is here. And then Busta says, then everybody's like, oh man, I guess that brother was genius. You know what I'm saying? Like eventually you become genius. And that's just the will to follow that yellow brick road when ain't nobody else there, right? When it's just you and God on that final straightaway. And you're like, man, I can see the finish line and ain't nobody else out here. I'm in the desert. Don't nobody else even know where I'm at. And then eventually it's just there. And so, man, that Busta interview it was that with the Tyler Perry, right? Seeing that back-to-back days was like, yeah, man, this was for me. It gave me enough to like, stand up tall and just be like, I'm gonna finish this race, right? Even if I was crawling, right? Like now I stood up on my own 2 feet, like, oh, now I'm gonna walk across this finish line with my head up high. And I feel good about it.
No, for sure. And just listening to you talk, like for me, I would think that that's kind of rooted in confidence a little bit, right? Self-confidence, because people always going, hey, you can't do this, or no, that's not real. You ain't gonna be able to accomplish that, right? So it's rooted in confidence, and also when you're at the younger stages, that's why using your imagination is so important, right?
So important.
Super important.
Well, it's one of the things, yo, Mack just hit something so fundamentally fascinating about adults, right? Like as kids, think of Jazz playing with his men all day, right? Think about kids and drawing, just being like, yo, this is magical, right? Like, and you looking like, oh yeah, Rainy, like that is everything that you say it is. Fast forward 30 years, if adults say that, he like, hey fam, like you need some meds. You know what I'm saying?
No, straight up.
But it's just like, yo, being able to keep that, right? Like that's literally the Peter Pan story. Like if you think about Robin Williams, fam, right? Like he got so old into business, he can no longer use his imagination. Like going to Never Neverland was like, oh, you can't see this food on the table? Right? Like that, I never forget that moment where everybody's smashing, right? And he's looking like, ain't nothing in these bowls. And then eventually, like, he just forces imagination to see the delusion, right? And then boom, right? food fight. Like, it's one of the most memorable TV moments from Grandma's house, right?
Mhm.
That I'll never forget. And so again, like, it goes back to how we started this podcast. Us being together, us sharing love, us sharing imagination, us sharing space. Like, we held that together for so long that now, like in our 30s, we're like, yeah, we can still believe in some of this stuff. And
Mhm.
if somebody seems like they're on the fringes, we still somehow gonna back them because
Mhm.
he might be right or she
Mhm.
might be right. So man, Mac, so spot on. Like let's continue to push these young folks to dream, to be the Disney, right? To like all this stuff, like it's all possible.
Mhm. It's
Yeah,
like kind
when
of what we
Mondo
talked
used to,
about.
I was gonna say
I was gonna say,
when Mondo used to watch Hook back in the day, he used to want to be Thud.
Who's
Um,
Thud? Is that you who used to roll down the thing?
no, no,
is that
that's
the
you.
big boy?
Hey,
That's you. That's you, Mondo.
that's
Like,
hey.
you,
I watched Hook like maybe like 4 months ago, and when he rolled down the little whatever, bro, I wish. Hey man, Mac, if you can put that in this video, fam,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the little
man,
round dude.
that's T all day.
hey, no, that's who Mondo wanted to be growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You
I
got
was
this.
more.
You got the sword at the end though, didn't you?
Yep.
You got the sword at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
That, he ain't me. You know what I'm saying?
He was like,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But nah, like we're talking about the Busta Rhymes interview. I still gotta peep it. I didn't even know about the Tyler Perry. So I definitely gotta peep that. But one thing that you said was killing dreams, right? If as adults, like, if adult says something like that, it's looked down upon. But if a kid says it, you know, it's lifted, right? Like, yeah, you can accomplish that. And so that reminds me of this viral video I seen this last week, man. It was testing my Switzerland, man. It was testing my Switzerland. So this mom, she's doing her makeup at the time in the video, and she's clowning her son because he said he wants to be the next LeBron James. And she's just going in on her son, like, your daddy coaches the team, and you can't even, and you're coming off the bench, and you're never going to be, the next LeBron James. You want to be the dad, you want to be the business LeBron James. You might be able to be that, but you're never going to be the basketball player. And man, it is it testing my, like I said, testing my Switzerland, testing my not cussing on this episode to go in on her because like, what kind of low life, insecure person or individual are you that you're sitting here having to record yourself putting makeup on because you're too dang on ugly, visually and also your heart to dish your son like that? That is, man, you're a rodent, straight up. Like, that's the best way I can describe her, man. She's a
and
rodent,
not
bro.
Master Splinter, huh?
No, not Master Splinter. I'm talking about straight, man. I'm
No,
ready to
no,
go. I'm
the
ready
one.
to go in, but like, just killing dreams. Like, you know what?
Mhm.
F you. Like, who was so bad to you in your life that they killed your dreams? Like, you gonna hate on your own son? That's your son. You gave birth to him, and you're gonna hate on him like that, man. That's some low life. Oh, try not to cuss, man, but it is.
I was just let me shout out one more person, right? So Damarian, was it last week or the week before last? Like, put in our family group chat, like, hey, does somebody have a physical copy of the Four Agreements? And just to be 18 and just ask that just on his own recognizance, just like, yo, I want to learn. Let me read that book, was super dope. But there's one part in that book that highlights what Torrean is saying, where it's like the story of this girl who loves to sing and comes home, and that day, right, like the mom just had a super rough day, and just she was at her wit's end, and the girl's in her room singing and just having a good time, and her mom is so frustrated with a headache, and she hears her mom yell like shut up, you can't even sing, right? And it kind of highlights in the book, like, yo, that moment the girl stopped singing, right? The words that come out of parents' mouth like can stand the test of time, positive or negative. And so, to what T is alluding to, yo, yeah, you can be LeBron. Yo, you can own the team if you want. Like, you can do all the stuff as long as they can dream as high as they can dream, which is, shout out to my pops. I say to everybody, I'm like, I don't even know what it's like to not have confidence. there may have been a time in my life where I lacked a little because y'all was clowning me because my ears was too big, but I don't forgot about that. You know what I'm saying?
Them things go flat, bro.
Yeah. My ears was huge, but like, yo, I'm like watching this Tyler Perry thing, and then kind of like watching his kind of insecurities and like this trauma, the stuff that he's carrying, and I'm like, yo, I'm so grateful for us, for our family to not have had that. And I'm just like, yo, we're so blessed. I mean, shout out to all these other families. Like, I don't want to knock any other family to be like, y'all ain't as good as us. But I will say that, like, our family is so dope. And I'm so grateful because we just all show up for each other, man. And whoever don't have, Mondo got the confidence, but maybe his empathy is a little off, right? All right, let me go to somebody with some more empathy. Like, we all got our own gift, and our gifts are at peak level. And together, yo, it's Avengers Assemble out here. So,
Yeah, no,
it's a
for
little
sure.
it's a little off like your left eye, but it's all good.
Hey,
Uh-huh.
I was crying. I'm looking at broken robots in the back. I'm like, Matt got me looking like this cat, you know what I'm saying, behind me, you know what I'm saying? Teary eyed and stuff.
No, but speaking of broken robots, bro, it's like Mondo, like you said, man, we got like when you hear stories like that, like even coaching, right? You see some parents yelling at their kids, being overly aggressive, right? And to them, it's just motivational. I'm trying to motivate you. I'm helping you. But like you said, Mondo, just giving the kids the freedom to dream and just guide them when they need you. Like,
Mm,
you know what I'm saying? Motivation isn't saying anything discouraging because you're at the end of the day, you're hurting them, right? So you just
mm-hmm.
got to let them bloom. And when they need you, they'll come to you. But just
Straight
be
up.
encouraging, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
so Mac, that's why I wanted to ask you that question. Was like, as a coach, have you witnessed parents killing kids' dreams right there on the field? And
For
like,
sure.
how did you react?
For sure. So sometimes it happens from people who I'm familiar with, right? Like kids on my team or people that I know. And at the end of the day, I know it's rooted out of love, like, because outside of the game, like I see them taking their kids on trips or, you know what I'm saying, taking them to professional games and all that. Like it's rooted in love, but, a lot of us, we didn't have our dads, right? So we don't know how to show that love without the aggression. So I do witness that a lot. And this isn't nothing to do with the question, but I want to shout out Noof, right? I told you Mack's coach, right? Mack, he's been playing for
Yeah,
Noof for
shout out
about
Noof.
5-6 years. Yeah, but he told me this dope story at their last practice. His nephew was Jalen Suggs, right? So he goes back and forth to Orlando a lot. He brings his family. He's not one of the aggressive dads. Like he's chill, great dad, right? But he told me he came downstairs and he has a son Nori, who's a real go-getter, young guy. I think he's like 6 years old, but like has the heart of a lion already, right? So he said, I came downstairs and I'm like, Nori, what are you doing? He said he had on a tuxedo and he had a Kobe Grinch jersey over it. And he said he looked at him with a straight face and said, man, I'm getting ready for the draft. Like, straight face, right? So, like, I respect that from Nuke because he didn't crush his dream. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope. You got to allow these kids to bloom and dream. You know what I'm saying? That shit's very important. Without, like, you can pull them to the side and have, like, conversations with them about their performance, but you don't need to embarrass them in front of other people. Like, there's some parents who go on a court or grab their kid, yank them, punch them, hit them. Like, that's not helping. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're
your
right,
kid should
bro.
not be crying in the middle of a game because of something that you're saying to them as a parent.
Yeah,
So,
like imagine that pressure, and I think too, like Noof, I know he's rooted in the community. He's a coach himself, and so the best thing he can do as a dad, and I know he's gonna do this, right, is put his son in the best position to
always.
be ready for that draft,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like that's what we got to, that's what we got to do is like, yo, if you got a dream, like Mondo always, in his videos. I don't know if you said it quite yet on the podcast, Mondo, but man, go all in. Go all in a dream. Like, help your kid get to that point. And if they pivot, they may pivot because they're kids, right? But it's just the fact that, as parents, like it's not our job to pass our insecurities down to our kids. It's our job to check ourselves, almost cussed. But it's our job to check ourselves, check our insecurities, and uplift and put our kids in a position to be the best version of them. And so, like, man, like, I'm not gonna go into the story, but similar situation happened to me, and I ain't gonna lie, man, it scarred me for a very, very long time, man. And yeah. So
I'll keep it positive because I remember one story from my pops. One, as you were saying that, so I don't forget, Torrean told me that y'all called last episode 9.5, which means this is episode 10. And so shout out to
This is
episode
10.
10. Right,
Yes,
right.
Yeah, shout out to
sir.
episode 10. And we did that because you weren't here, Mondo. Like, it's not complete unless the three of us are here. So if people see 0.5 episodes, that means one of us may have been absent because we had something else going on. But our goal is to be is bring as much consistency as we can. We want to show up every week, and so But my bad, Mondo. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good. It just kind of hit me. It's like, let me throw that in there because that made me feel good when you told me that. So shout out to y'all for that. I remember senior year of high school or junior or senior year, one of the times, right? My dad used to yell at me from the stands, right? Actually, like at Central, all the student sections on one side, and on the other side that's empty, it'd be my dad sitting by himself,
Charles.
right? Right? Like, he's like, oh, you're going to hear me, right? But my pops knew that he never said anything negative, but I just always heard his voice, right? It was the thing that helped me uptick, get to that next thing. And my pops always had my back. And me and my coach, shout out to Coach Howe, right? Like, off the court, dope cat, always in his office kicking it. On the court, man, we beefing, right? We did not see eye to eye. But I remember him and I were having a disagreement about a game. And then we were like, all right, we're going to go have this conversation after the game. Me, my dad, and Coach Howe. And I remember, fam, going into this office and having this conversation. And, bruh, I was snapping. And I was like, yo, I'm going to be a McDonald's All-American. Like, full-blown, probably same confidence as homie who walked down with the tuxedo and Kobe jersey on. And I'm saying this, and my dad is sitting right next to me like, yeah, cool. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. And like, just nobody saying that it can't be true. And I'll just never forget that because I'm like, yo, I'm in middle of Minnesota, right? Like, cool, I could hoop, but I'm not on the national track of like, oh, McDonald's All-American at the time. However, I believed it. That delusion is something that still carries me to this day. Like, McDonald's All-American just wasn't big enough. Like, that's how I look at it. I'm like, oh, it's supposed to be something else then, right? And so, man, just to continue to pour into your kids, allow them to believe in the thing that they believe in that moment so that they can believe in the next thing that's higher and the next thing that's higher and the next thing that's higher. Never squash that dream, bro. And if you don't, man, all our kids is going to win. Like, I know everybody in Mack's house is going to win. You know, Rainy, like, she ain't accepting anything other than a W. And like, Kadence, fam, I can't even win with her. So she already a boss.
So, question, Mondo. So, was that Coach Howe that was yelling out the window, Armando? Armando?
Nah, that was Coach Bill.
All right, so Coach Bill. So Mondo played football as well. He even got some, recruiting letters from Stanford and Michigan for football. And man, it was summertime. He had practice. And
it was right after the Hoop It Up or Gus, wasn't it?
Yeah, like the next day after long basketball weekend of basketball.
It was 2 a days was next.
Yeah,
just know that it ain't just practice; it's 2 a days, fam.
Yeah, 2 a days, and man, Mondo's like the night before, I'm not going to practice, and so we were up late, probably playing video games or whatever, just tired from the weekend, and next thing we know, we went to sleep, and early in the morning, I wake up to Armando, and it was
the coach pulled up on you.
Pull it up,
Oh,
yelling from outside, and I was like, yo, somebody called I don't know who this is, right? I go downstairs, open the door, and he's just like, yo, yeah, I think it was like the second half of practice, right? Because you 2 a days, right? He's like, you coming? I said, nope. And I went back in there and went to sleep, man. Like, yo, it just wasn't, football did not speak my love language. And after hooping, we probably won at the end too. You know what I'm saying? After hooping, I was just like, man, I ain't about to do this football thing. I get there when I get there. And so there was some ego there, right? Like, there was some players that's probably like, dang, like that's disrespectful. But yeah, man, I had to follow my heart.
Yeah. So that ain't quite how I remember the story, but
I remember
the story.
Torrean, too.
I heard
Nah,
somebody
so
yelling
like,
my name, and I went and looked through the shades to see who it was.
nah, that's exactly what Mondo did though.
I
Right?
know
I'm
this nigga
like,
talking about. I went and opened the door like,
so that's what he did. So I woke up and I'm like, man, who the hell screaming this? Who's screaming his name? Right? Like, why is somebody yelling Mondo's name? And Mondo's, I think that might be one of my coaches. And so, like, Mondo's room was right above like the front door, and so he peeped out just a little bit out the window and was like, oh, that's Coach Bill. I ain't going there. But by that time, I'm up. I'm mad because I'm like, man, as tired as we is, I'm up. Mondo goes back to sleep. He keeps on yelling, and it was for some hours. I swear, it felt like it was for some hours. This man was yelling
See how
out the
Torrean
window,
exaggerate? You think somebody yelling another man's name for an hour, bro? Come on, man.
bro. It was a long time. Like no BS. It was a long
That's
time,
fair.
man. And yeah, so that's how I remember that story. But
No,
it
I
was,
did go downstairs because I remember having to look at him in his face and be like, I'm not going. I do remember that for sure. And then showing up like probably the next day, like, what up? I'm here now. It was on
yeah,
some Antonio Brown type stuff for sure.
you was a receiver, bro. It's diva, it's diva
Yeah.
shit. You
Oh
allow
yeah, it definitely was, man.
that.
That's not to say
Yeah.
if you're an athlete, it's not to say don't follow me. You know what I'm saying? Like I got my own mind, right? Show up to practice.
Yeah, that work, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, man. So what holiday spirit here. Like, we talk about delusional. We talk about, is there anything like what's the best gift y'all ever got that you remember? Like
For Christmas. Because a rock was a birthday gift, I think. Or it was a random gift.
You
For
mean like what I think is the best gift now, or you mean during the time? Like as a
just
kid, how excited I was.
man, just in general, like, or I should say, okay, let's switch the question up, man. Like what is a gift that you guys could receive right now and you would just be like, man, that was just dope? And it could be something material or it could be, something non-material, but like, what is something that, like, I don't know, what's something a gift that y'all could receive that you're just like, yo, this is dope?
So I got you. So I was like, all right, God, I can't have no material things, right? Back to the basics. Cool. So I asked Cadence multiple times if you could be sponsored by any company, who would you want to be sponsored by? And she said a couple, but one that she said, she was like, oh, I definitely rock Essential. And so 2 days ago, like as best as I could, I reached out like, yo, to the cat because he went to FAMU or whatever, the founder of
Jerry
Essentials.
Lorenzo.
Yeah, and so I was just like,
Yeah.
man, like that would be dope. So a dope gift would be that contact and be like, oh yeah, I'm a sponsor dad-daughter. And so whatever you do as a man, whatever she does as a girl, like I'm a sponsor that journey. Y'all just got to rock this Essential attire. And so like that would be a fire gift right now. And so I'm putting that out in the universe.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. How about you, Mac?
I don't know yet, man. You go first.
Well, I was hoping you was gonna go so I could think of something, but
Yeah, really. I'm not too big on gifts, bro. Like, I appreciate the little things. Like a few weeks ago, maybe it was a month ago or so, Marl just wrote me and his mom this letter, right? Just, I love you. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for teaching me sports and all of this shit. Like, because he complains a lot when I'm like, all right, let's go train. I get a lot of complaints, but I like him writing that letter just lets me know I'm appreciated. You know what I mean? Like Mack doing school projects and he'll draw his dad on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, my dad helped me do this. But that's what fulfills me, bro. Like gifts and all that shit. Like I really don't care too much for it, bro. Just like all the women and in relationship, just let me feel appreciated, bro. So that's just
yeah, that's
that
dope.
shit fills me, bro. I don't, unless a nigga want to pull up and give me a Tesla or something.
I mean, I was waiting for one of y'all to throw a Keno joke out here or something, man. But y'all chilling today, huh?
I mean, Mac got all the accessories he needs, so he's straight. But now I'll piggyback off that, man. Like, it's hard for me to think about material stuff because I'll be like, man, I really don't need anything until I need something, if that makes sense. Like, it's just, I don't really have time to be thinking about, like, I used to be one of them guys that would go on like bestbuy.com or, try to find a deal on a TV or like, look for some type of technology that I felt like I needed. But man, I got a PS5. I ain't even opened. And I ain't played it yet. Right. And so like, it's just, I'm in a different mindset right now. But I think the one gift that I would want is, man, for everybody to, I feel I've had a lot of conversations recently, and it seems like life is just kicking everybody's ass, man. And, my gift would just be, man, for the tide to turn for those around me, but also in the world, man. And just, shout out to Young Thug, and Gunna, because apparently Pusha P means pushing positivity. So we gonna say what that is, what it meant. That's what I always thought the song meant when they was saying they was pushing P. But it's just like, yo, pushing that positivity and getting more positivity out there, man. Like, I want to see people appreciating their life more, and also like, feeling like life ain't against them, but they're, starting to get those W's, man. And like, that would it makes me happy, man. It makes me happy anytime you have a positive conversation with somebody and they're just like, yo, they're loving life, right? Like they're loving that, because like, I mentioned this a couple podcasts ago, but like, I embraced positivity in my life, like, 10 plus years ago. And it's just, man, it's been dope, man. It's dope to try to look at things from a positive point of view. Now, that don't mean I don't ever get down. That don't mean like, there's not times I'm negative or whatever, but it's just, my point is, man, like, life's kicking our, some asses right now. It's kicking my ass a couple weeks ago. And it's time for us to kick life's ass, so
I feel like I feel like Rainy needs a swear jar. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put $1. Hey. You gotta put $1 in there every time you swear, because you had like $6.
Well, ass is in the Bible, so Rainy.
So you ain't gonna correct. You're gonna tell the teacher, "Oh no, Rainy can say ass at school because it's in the Bible."
Nah, but for these purposes and for future podcasts, that's about as long as I'm ever gonna go again without swearing.
Okay, all right.
Man, it's just, but
well, one of the things you said though was super dope that kind of hit, man. One, seeing other people win, I think is super key. The other thing that you said though was like not opening that PS5. Like there's some fear there. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to video games, fam, like you don't want that work. So I'm just trying to figure out when you opening it up,
It's just a time thing for me. It's just a distraction I don't need, man. That's how I feel.
Okay.
I just feel like it's a distraction I don't need, but I've been wanting to play, and then Rainy's been wanting, like, a Switch lately. That's another thing that she wants, because one of Alexa's kids got a Switch, and now she wants a Switch, and it's just like, so she wants to play video games too. So maybe during Christmas break we'll open it up and she can play some The Last of Us with me, which probably ain't which is not kid appropriate, so I have to buy a whole nother game. But yeah,
sound like it. Okay. You see how he ducked me, Mack?
Yeah, he don't want no smoke.
You see that? Okay, it's cool.
He always on that.
Well, bruh, for the last 53 minutes of this podcast, you've been talking about how delusional you were and like and delusions. So I'm not even giving that no power. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay,
but
I feel that.
On a random tip though, right? I do have a question for y'all. I seen this question online. I just want to know y'all's thoughts and know y'all's answers on it. So you can choose between the two. You get $100,000 wired directly to your bank account today, or you flip a coin for $10 million. Which one are you taking?
Oh, that's easy.
I need your answer and why.
I'm flipping the coin. I'm flipping the coin. The reason, because
50
it's
over because a guaranteed $100K.
Yeah, because of variance. It's a 50-50 chance at $1 million. I can make $100K in a year. So, but $10 million. Yeah, but how long is it going to take you to flip it to 10 million? That's my point. So, like $10 million, for a 50-50 chance, $10 million, that's better than the lottery. That's better than any odds that you're ever going to see out here. Even if you went on a game show, like they're not giving away $10 million prizes. So I feel like just from the variance piece, you just got to take the 10 million or take your chance at 10 million. And if you lose, cool. You can go make 100K. You know, it's a lot harder to make 10 million. So
Yeah, I'm going with the coin too. Less on the math though. Like actually has nothing to do with the math. I'm just like, yo, either God wants my story to be like, oh yeah, fam, all you had to do is flip that coin. Or it's, man, you the dummy that flipped the coin and got nothing. And then I follow up and it's just like, yeah, fam, because I got the 100 million was around the corner. Right. And so for me, it's all story. He's a math guy though.
Yeah.
yeah, what you doing, Mac?
Sure. I'm flipping that bitch too, bro. I need that 10K. Yeah. So having faith and all that's about, bro. I'm flipping that coin.
Yeah. So all right. So then we hit the 10 mil. What are you spending your money on first?
Ooh,
What are you spending your first 100K on?
Oh, the first thing I'm doing is purchasing HD cameras for the three of us, so our shit could be. So this podcast can look a little crispier. You know what I'm saying? Like we might have to get a studio,
bro. You gonna get us a studio, bro?
I'm about to say, right?
Like, talking about a webcam,
right?
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this podcast. But I'm definitely, man, just if I got 10 million, make sure my mom's straight, make sure my pops are straight, make sure my grandparents are straight, uncles and everything else. But then, make sure,
I gotta put you on the spot real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got 10 mil. So what is straight?
Good question. That's a great question.
Hey, he just listed off a whole bunch. I'm like, man, bro, straight? Like how straight?
Yeah, I mean straight. So first thing I would do is check with my financial advisor. Shout out John. Shout out John Bernstein for that. But yeah, I would check him out and discuss it with him. But yeah, I would just try to make assurances in place to make sure that this money can grow. But it also means that my people are straight. And like what I mean by straight is even if that's an extra 15, 20K a year for a little bit of period of time, that helps, right? Like that helps. That helps that helps the burden that they may have on them. And so I can't retire them. If you give them $1 million, they can go spend that shit in a day, and then they ain't got it no more.
They're back. Like I ain't straight no more.
They're back looking for it. So, but yeah, man, it's and then figure out how to make the money grow. Figure out how to make the money grow, so then that way I can live the best life I want to live. Rainy can too, and our family can, I should say. And that's how I look at it. I don't think I would go out and buy nothing expensive, but
okay. What about you, Mac? What you spending on?
You hear this from my T, where you at? I'm in Cabo, or I'm in, come on, T, you gonna be out this bitch. You already know.
Hey, I do want to go to Cabo for my birthday. That might happen, but we're gonna see.
Okay.
Yeah, no, for sure. Probably the same things as Torrean, paid off debt. You know what I'm saying? I did watch this video about life insurance. So, bro, I probably, put a whole bunch of money in there so to accumulate more and grow. Shit, I hear that's the way of doing it. Better than putting that shit in the bank. So I'll just be smart, man. Talk to people, figure out where to put this money so it'll grow. But yeah, I don't need too much, bro. So I try to be smart with that joint.
What
about you?
Yeah, I mean, one, I got to pay off all this debt because I got plenty. Two, I'd probably go to a Cabo or go somewhere with the most comfortable bed because I want to sleep for like a week.
All we gotta do is go back to Hollywood, bro. Go back to Cali.
Oh yeah, we go back to Hollywood, bro. Like, man, after these last 2 years. Hey, look here.
Hey, this whole trip was a mystery. They still ain't never every time you talk about this Hollywood trip, all y'all do is just look at each other and just start laughing and then shake your head anyways. So yeah, I need to figure out what happened on this trip, man. We're gonna talk about that.
Hey, family business, or family matters, Yeah, that's funny. But nah, man, be straight up, man. After these last 2 years, I want to be able to sleep soundly for a minute. Bro, I don't have to worry about nothing when I get up. I don't have to think about no money. It's just man, somebody take care of that, bro. I'm still asleep. That's just so important for me right now. I don't know why. It just feels like an exhaustion just being released off you. And then after that, man, I would love to do like an all family trip to Disney. Like everybody, like whoever want to go can go. I feel like that would be so fun, fam. And so hopefully, since y'all flip the same coin, y'all could put in on it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, facts, straight up. Hey, I just seen Nick Cannon said he took his 8 kids or whatever he got to Disneyland, and it cost him $200,000.
No, he said that's about how much he spent in a year going to Disney.
Oh, okay, that was a year.
Yeah,
that's still kind of crazy. But let's just say the bill is $200K, and you got that $10 million tax free. You still funding it, Mondo?
Oh yeah, Disney, man. Disney's magical, bro. Like if you took the whole family to Disney, the return on investment of that magical trip is way more than 200K. It's more than $2 million. Like,
so you covering flights and all that shit too, or
bro? To go to Disney, yes, bro. I think Disney is that fire.
Okay.
Like, we're gonna be here for a week. We're gonna hit all the parks. You free to do what you want, man. It just Disney to me is, I think it's the closest thing to, not to get all biblical, but it's the closest thing to Eden, right? Like you don't have to think like about safety or whatever. You just go and explore as a kid or as an adult, and there's just stuff to just have fun, vibe, whatever. I love Disney World. I think it's amazing.
No.
Yeah, so to my family, for all of us to go to Disneyland or Disney World, that's $200,000. Instead, we're gonna have a Disney theme party
at Como Park Pavilion.
Nah, hey, we could do Como. See, Mondo, I could do Como. We could do Como Park Pavilion for sure. I was thinking Devani's or something, like with a party room. You know what I'm saying?
Man, this
like,
dude want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Chuck E. Cheese. We're gonna have Disney stuff. Like, we can have a Mickey show up. We could do whatever. All the games.
It ain't the same, bro.
All the games, and I could save that. Save about $190,000. That's the whole point. But I will give away $1,000 to 20 people that come. Right. So, family, like,
this dude.
What you think? Like, you want in on the action, or you trying to go to Disney World? Which one is it? You know what I mean?
Hey, that is such an interesting question. Like, hey, man, you want to go to Disney or you want to go to Chuck E. Cheese with a chance to win $10,000? Because this dude Torrean is giving away $10,000. Hey, that's the new Jay-Z question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it might be. It might be. But who wants to send us out today, man? Who wants to send us out?
Man, I talked a lot, so one of y'all.
Man, I guess I will. I really ain't got too much, but just continue to better yourselves, man. Love the people around you. Don't let the holiday season or any of the stresses that come with it, get to your mental, man. Because if you're checked out mentally, bro, ain't none of them gifts or anything else gonna matter, man. So just take care of yourself, man, and continue to love people around you. That's all I got.
Love it.
Yeah, love it too, man. Appreciate it. I know I got to do this at the beginning of the podcast, but if you liked what you heard today, subscribe, man. See, you can't beat me, man. I know you're trying to beat me, but you can't beat me. But yeah, man, subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms. It does help us grow. It does help our channel. Helps the podcast. So for sure. And happy birthday to my beautiful daughter, Rainy, my beautiful niece, Kadence, and my little brother Vaughn, man. Happy birthday to y'all. And we gonna happy birthday to anybody with a December birthday for sure. From the They Call Me Daddy Parents podcast.
Episode 10. Yeah.
Episode 10. Hey.
All right.
We out.
Peace.
They call me daddy.